So why did they call this episode Selina Kyle again? Hey everyone, my name is Americ and welcome to a brand new review for Gotham episode 2 titled Selina Kyle. Let's jump into what worked in this episode. The first thing I enjoyed was that the tone in episode 2 was consistent with the tone in episode 1. There's always a worry, in my opinion, especially for new shows where they have a pilot, they put a lot of stuff in that pilot, but starting in episode 2, they go in a completely different direction. They didn't do it here. They actually made things a little bit sharper. So I felt the humor and the absurdity and the darkness were a little bit sharper, and I kind of liked it. I thought it was great. I thought it was well balanced. None of it felt out of place, and it was pretty cool. It had those like really weird, strange moments, you know, like Falcone talking to Fish Mooney while his goons are beating up her exercise partner, and I just thought that moment was perfect. You know, the right dialogue, the right moment. It's just God damn it, that was awesome. Which brings me to my second point: the storytelling. I mean, there were a ton of stories in this episode. I was somewhat concerned that the model for this series was going to be case of the week with a little bit of the Batman thing and sort of like going along that way. But no, that's not what they did. There was a case, but it wasn't the primary aspect of that specific episode. I really didn't feel like it was overwhelming. First of all, it was interesting. It was, you know, well put together. It had some good acting. It had some good moments. And it was really interesting to watch. But that's not all. In addition to that, you had the Penguin saga, you had Bruce and Alfred, you had the Riddler coming in, yeah, being part of the episode, but we know that had nothing to do with it. I felt like we were seeing a moment where his villainy was just coming together somehow. But that's not all. You had the Fish Mooney storyline, you had the Catwoman storyline. I mean, you had so many storylines in one episode. Heck, you even had Penguin's mother as a storyline. What the hell? I was like, what the? It was just great. It was just perfect. It was just so packed in, so rich. A lot of stuff to watch, a lot of stuff to think about and to wonder about. And I thought, hey, you know what? That's what a TV show should be about. A TV show should be about telling you stories. Stories that are interesting, stories that are engaging, and that make you want to come back week over week. So I'm interested to see whether that's going to be a consistent thread throughout the season, or whether there's going to be just these one-off episodes where you're going to have all those storylines packed in, or if it's going to trail off. I'm interested. I'm curious. I'm also curious to hear what you think about that, but I personally enjoyed it quite a bit. But the good thing about this smorgasbord of storylines has to be the character development. So on point. Detective Gordon. We saw in episode 1 how he was willing to sort of bend his morals a little bit. Not really, right? But just appear to at least look corrupt. And it was interesting how everybody throughout this episode was calling him out like, hey, I thought you were with the program. Like, are you not corrupt? Are you not like us? But no, he's like, yeah, I'm corrupt. Yeah, but really, let's try to solve this case like, you know, the honest way. I'm just saying. At the same time, he was the same guy who was like, yeah, beat that guy. I mean, we're just trying to get some kids. So clearly, he's not like Mr. Goody Two-Shoes. There's some aspect of him that allows to veer off the path if need be. But still, he is so far the moral compass of this show. And it's really hard because everyone else just seems so corrupt. I mean, so corrupt. So good to see how Gordon is really stepping up. But in terms of character development, I really felt that putting Penguin and seeing his evolution and maybe seeing how he's essentially starting out as a villain is pretty interesting. Are we going to see essentially a season where we see a villain growing up and being born? Is that what we're gonna see? That would be really interesting to watch. Hey, even Catwoman had some dialogue this episode, so I really like that actress. I think she did some fantastic work in this episode. Now, let's move on to what didn't work. If you're going to call an episode Selina Kyle, you have to make the episode about Selina Kyle. And that episode was a lot of things, but it was not solely about Selina Kyle. I know this is not a huge freaking deal, but I like episode names that are consistent with the theme or the episode itself. And I really felt that in this specific scenario, they had a really awesome episode name. It could have been epic, just like this epicness of finding out who Selina Kyle is, and she was barely in the episode. So why waste it? I just thought that was, I don't know. I just felt it was wasted. I don't know what you guys think about that, but personally, that was a huge disappointment for me. The other thing that sort of annoyed me, I mean, it wasn't a showstopper or anything like that, but the Bruce Wayne character, I know he's a kid, but I felt that whole storyline of him burning himself and testing himself was kind of like, not super interested about that. I just don't feel like there was a lot of insight that we had in the character. It just felt sort of forced in. We could have had this entire Bruce and Alfred storyline without bringing Gordon in at all. Like, seriously. It felt like there was no point in bringing them in and bringing them together for this particular episode. I'm not against it, hypothetically. There's so many different ways of bringing them together. Like, you know, Gordon comes, you know, once a week and plays chess with Bruce Wayne. You know, I mean, something like that. This, no, wasn't quite it. So, the Bruce Wayne storyline, not my jam. The third thing that's kind of annoying me, and I don't know if it's an annoyance or something that I should really just embrace or accept, so I'm gonna ask for your help here. I cannot believe that there's so much corruption in Gotham. I mean, so much. So very much. It's just unbearable. I mean, it's so corrupt that it doesn't feel like it should be working. Like, at all. Does any murder get solved? Does anything get protected? I mean, everyone is corrupt. The beat cop is corrupt. The commissioner is corrupt. The mayor is corrupt. Everyone is corrupt. It's crazy. It's just an amount of corruption that's too much to deal with somehow that I'm like, I don't know if that's even realistic. And I know it's crazy to say that, but I feel like it's more of a storyline device that's there that's really easy to use. It's like, well, they're corrupt, so you do this. Well, they're corrupt, so you do that. It just feels like you can't have everyone being so corrupt. It's just too much. I don't know. Maybe talk to me, guys. Tell me how to deal with the corruption. The corruption in the show. Tell me. I got problems. My final thoughts for this episode, it was pretty awesome. It was pretty awesome. I really liked how rich it was from a storytelling perspective. I love the character development, and I love the fact that the tone was right. And I clearly have some mixed feelings about other things. But enough about me. What did you think of this episode? Comment below and let me know. If you're new, make sure to subscribe because I will be reviewing Gotham every week. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye. Corruption.